There's Portillo and Charlie Adams in the middle. Just ahead of him, Jose Hernandez, Sebastian Velasquez is still suspended and out from this game. He hasn't really been able to find his touch. This is one of his games. He's had a good amount of starts. Can he find his rhythm and be that person, that maestro in the middle that pulls the strings ahead and gets the ball to Hoffman, who's red hot right now? And then you're going to have Hurd and then Chang on the outside, who's just been absolutely destroying it this entire season.
Chang and Hoffman are two of those guys that are really commanding the offense for the Monarchs. Chang, obviously, like we mentioned, a goal scorer the last time these two teams played. And Hoffman has been nothing but exceptional. 6 goals on the season. Once he got the monkey off his back, he's really been a different player, a guy that's been able to find the back of the net, even if it's from the PK spot.
That monkey was huge. It was a grill like we spoke about. So that's off his back. He's got 6 goals. Chang has 6 assists. On the flip side of that, though, you have Jamal Johnson. Jamal Johnson tied for a bunch of people with 7 goals, just 2 off the pace for the USL lead. Chandler Hoffman at 6, as we talked about. Jamal Johnson will be on the right. Fayu on the left. You got to watch out for their speed on the outside. Then you're going to have Kafa and Cesares in the middle. In the middle with Bustamante just right in the middle, and then Fayu up top. And then in the back, you're going to have Daly on the right. You have Daly on the right, Del Campo in the middle, Cooper on the left with, Daly, with Corey Brown in the middle. I'm very sorry. And then most importantly, you have Connor Sparrow, and then in the goal for Fresno State, you have Kyle Ranish, who used to be a Monarchs product himself.
Yeah, a Real Salt Lake player and done well this season. Connor Sparrow, a guy that we talk about quite frequently, a guy that's made a name for himself last season with the Monarchs. This season appeared in only 6 games, 3 clean sheets, 5 goals conceded. Done a good job this season and getting minutes with the Monarchs tonight.
It's a very weird situation for Connor Sparrow. Every game he's played in, he's played absolutely amazing, and he had some unbelievable saves in the St. Louis games and in the Swope Park games that they played on the road. Now when he comes back here, he's kind of find that tough position being the first team, RSL's second team goalkeeper now that Alex is going to be out for the entire season. And so he needs to come back and he needs to get games, though, because Ramondo is an aging veteran. You never know when you might need to step up, so it's good for him to get these games. And like I said, he's been flying. Him and Leaker have just been playing lights out for the Monarchs.
One of the luxuries that the Monarchs have is having that opportunity to bring players down, more like a luxury from Real Salt Lake, being able to loan them down and give them minutes here, as we'll check out the players to watch for tonight.
What we got here, Michael Chang, as we talked about him just a second ago, 6 assists, 2 goals, always dangerous. He loves to come out on this right side, and he's favoring that left foot. He's always looking to cut in on the left. He is going to cause constant havoc for Alex Cooper tonight, so that'll be an interesting matchup. That'll be determined in the first 10 minutes, I feel like, what side of that way is going to go. Cooper needs to be physical with him. And then on the Fresno side, you have Jamal Johnson, as we talked about before, 7 goals in 15 games. He's their attack. He's put out 1/3 of their goals. He's going to be very important to him. Monarchs are going to have to key on him to stop him from getting that 8th, 9th, 10th goal. They're going to look, obviously, to shutout. It's going to be a hot day today. You're going to have to weather the heat. Hopefully, there should be some hydration breaks. Ball's got to do a lot of the work. You want to limit your running all night tonight.
And the big factor for Fresno is they're coming off a game playing Saturday, a 1-0 loss, a big loss for them after they had a 4-1 victory against Swope Park. But having played Saturday, going to play Saturday again, this is a tough stretch for them.
Yeah, it's a very tough stretch, and you kind of see, okay, well, are we going to take points here? This isn't a place where a lot of teams, if any teams, really come and get anything but 1 point. RSL hasn't lost at home in regular time since the beginning of 2017. So is this going to be a game they kind of just try and defend and come out with a tie? It absolutely is.
Joseph Dickerson, center referee for tonight's match, blows his whistle, and we are underway here at Zions Bank Stadium. Hot Tuesday evening in the mid-90s here on the Wasatch Front.
I think that's no surprise to see them in their white kits with it being 94 degrees out, normally sporting their red, gold, and cobalt, or their cobalt, red, and blue, gold and blue. Can't get my colors right.
Monarchs wearing their all white, like Chad mentioned. Fresno Foxes in their navy blue kits tonight. Monarchs going to be moving from right to left, or from north to south here at Zions Bank Stadium. Sparrow will play it out of the back. Midfield, good opportunity here for Fresno. Looking to go forward, Ryden will cut it off. He'll play it forward. Monarchs still trying to settle in looked a little uncomfortable here in the first few minutes of this one.
And Sparrow put his hand up after he played that ball. If you play that ball short and it gets cut up by the midfielder with your center back spread wide and your outside backs up the field, any ball that gets a 25-30 header back into the forward, he found himself in tons of space. Connor Sparrow put up his hand. He knows he has to be better with that. He can't short that one. He's normally been very good with his feet this year, so I wouldn't expect that to be something that he duplicates.
Force with a little bit of a miscue. He's able to get it back to the keeper, and Sparrow plays a ball wide of Herrera, and Monarchs, like I mentioned, look out of sync here early on.
And it's coming from Connor right now. The last 2 balls he's played hasn't been good, but what he's going to have to do now is he's going to have to find something where it's a short pass. Just get his confidence about him, complete that first pass, settle into the game, and go from there.
Ball's back with Del Campo. Chafa wearing the captain's armband for Fresno. Looking forward, splits the center back. Sparrow off his line, will collect at the top of the box. Quickly outlets to Adams. Up to Herrera. Hurd was just a few feet in front of him, not really an option moving forward. Hospital ball. Bustamante with it. Bustamante all by himself, plays it wide. Ball forward, good opportunity there for Fresno, kind of squandered that opportunity.
That's kind of sad. I mean, it's not what you want to see from Bustamante right off the bat. He has a solid one-on-one on a turnover going against Kalen Wright, and you have no idea what his speed is yet. Go ahead and test him out. Go on one-on-one. Nobody's going to blame you. Feu, he's got to be a little bit louder as he's coming to that right side. He had a step on his outside back. If he gets in front of there, it's an easy layoff for Bustamante, but got to be a little bit more vocal.
Well, back on the back line with Fresno. Adam Smith, head coach for Fresno. Thomas and Olave, top of the bench tonight for the Monarchs. Herrera, nice job to move that one forward. Ball's out, and it'll be a throw in front of the Monarchs bench.
The Monarchs, you want to see the ball moving on a day like this, days where there's a lot of heat. You're expected to see a low-scoring game. The second one team scores, a lot of times they'll sit in and they'll just try and possess the ball as much as they can to stop themselves from running so much.
Opportunity there for the Foxes. Herrera, he'll cut back, takes a little bit of a stumble, gets it to Portillo. Portillo's just going to play it forward, looking for Hoffman. Hoffman brings it down. It'll be a throw-in for Fresno. Says Joseph Dickerson, center referee. Good crowd on hand here for this Tuesday night, this $2 Tuesday.
Very good crowd, very good crowd. It's good to see everybody come out. Most people sitting on the east side. On the west side, in the shade, facing us. In the second half, that'll prove to block a little bit of what we can see. Perfect right now, though.
Reynes with his first touch, former Real Salt Lake player. New York Cosmo. Portillo to Ryden.
Ryden, who's so used to getting forward pretty much this entire season, playing that left back spot with Gallagher out with an injury and Moberg still just struggling a little bit with his fitness coming back from injury. He had to step in that with David Horst, so it's a makeshift lineup, as we said.
Ball forward to Hoffman, too far out in front. Across the end line, it'll be a goal kick for Fresno.
But what a great person to have as a substitute to come in there, someone that's very calm with his feet. Hopefully he doesn't get too lax. A lot of times you can lose the ball left back spot and not be immediately dangerous. If he does that today at center back, it will be dangerous right away.
Foxes enter tonight's matchup 4-6-7 on the season with 19 points, 11th place in the Western Conference. They're 1-4-3 on the road, so not the best road record for this side. Monarchs on the opposite side, 11-3-1, 6-0-1 at home. And undefeated here at Zions Bank Stadium so far. Hernandez gets away from the defenders. He's in the middle of the pitch. He's going to play it wide to Chang. Chang, he's going to go out as defender. He'll cut in to his left foot, tries to go back to his right, gets caught up just outside the box, cuts in, found a seam, and Rainish will collect.
I'm not sure that was much more exciting than it actually fizzled out to be, but Chang doing what he does best, cutting in that left foot turning his defender around a little bit, getting cut underneath his feet, and just all of them converge on him at once. And sometimes nobody knows who's actually going to take the ball. Good recovery there by Fabo, though, to just shepherd to Rainish and lead to absolutely nothing. But good feet there by Chang to almost create a chance.
7 minutes into this one. Still scoreless here at Zions Bank Stadium. Good ball forward there as Sparrow will come off and collect.
You can see why Teo is up top. He's big. He's a presence up there. He's about the same size as David Horst, a little bit bigger than Kalen Ryden. They're going route one. They're playing the ball up top to him, hoping he can bring it down, hold it up, and allow support to come up and maybe score goals that way. Get in the box and see what he can do.
Fresno with it. Ball's going to be out. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Brody's going to play it back to Horse inside his own 18. Plays it back to Sparrow. Sparrow's going to play it high and long. Hernandez. Out wide to Brody. Monarchs moving up that right side of the pitch. Overlapping run by Charlie Adams. Brody will cut in. Looking forward to Hoffman. He gets the return pass. Brody inside the 18. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody puts the Monarchs ahead in the 8th minute of play.
The Skeletor strikes. What an unbelievable play by Andrew Brody. Gets the ball out on the wing. It gets switched to the left side by Jose Hernandez. Comes back through Jose Hernandez, who's done a great job so far of switching the field. Plays the ball wide out to Brody by working the ball up. And what I like, one of the plays that I like the most is Charlie Adams makes a overlapping run that draws both defenders away. Again, a communication breakdown by Fresno. Brody picks it up, comes inside, plays a nice little 1-2 at the top of the box with Hoffman, takes 2 great touches, and then a classy toe poke to the right, past Kyle Rainish. Nothing he could do about it. Great individual play there from Adrian Brody here. Knowing exactly, I'm sorry, not a toe poke, even classier, with the outside of the boot.
A good little finish there from Andrew Brody as he went at it all alone.
Comes
nice
inside.
Little give and go there from Chandler Hoffman as you're seeing a replay. Look at that.
And that's not an easy touch that he receives back from Hoffman. He's running almost half stride, half pace right there. That's not an easy thing to do. So that first touch that he gets out of his feet allows him to take that next great touch. The most important touch in soccer is that first touch, and Andrew Brody's was terrific on that goal.
His first of the season, of the 2018 season. He's one of those guys that's one of the unsung heroes, often running up and down the pitch, not getting a lot of credit for his hard work, but he's one of those Energizer bunnies.
Oh, he never stops. He's so good at reading the play. He's a very smart player. He's good at getting into passing lanes, but he's a converted winger to an outside back. So he has that wherewithal, and he has that about him to be able to go forward and be a dangerous attacking option, which has to be just joy on joy for Jamison Olave, Danny Cruz, and the coaching staff. Because with Kalen Ryden inside now, you still have people on the outside that can score goals.
Chang screaming up the right side. Nice touch to bring it down. He's going to play it forward, looking for Hurd. Rainish does a good job to cut that one off. And the Foxes are going to try to go forward fast. I think that's an alliteration, but we're not even gonna go there.
I think I missed it.
Foxes forward fast. Fresno with the long there back line.
And this is turning out to be almost an exact replay of the first game against Fresno, scoring the 8th minute again. You know, maybe it's because they scored in the 8th minute while you were.
Yeah. I was at the hospital last time.
You were having a kid, and we scored in the 8th minute. So you know, it just kind of came full circle. They wanted to do that for you.
Tayu's not able to keep that one as it crossed the end line. It will be a goal kick for the Monarchs. She's now a lot more than 8 pounds. She's a growing little girl, smiling now.
And sleeping through the night, right? Most important.
Getting there. Important for mom and dad. Connor Sparrow, 3 clean sheets on the season. Like we mentioned in the pregame, 5 goals conceded in 6 games, stood on his head in St. Louis in front of his home fans. A lot of friends and family in the area because that's where he's from. Both his parents were out tweeting their predictions of the game. I think his mom correctly predicted a clean sheet and a win for the Monarchs. Exactly what was to happen.
It didn't matter what the odds in Vegas were. You knew that was always going to be her bet. Moms know best, right?
The love from moms. Hoffman back to Ryden. Monarchs going to cross the midway line. Ryden going to look wide to Chang. Monarchs attacking that right side so far tonight with Brody and Chang. Chang's going to cut in, looking for Hernandez. He's just at the top of the area, trying to make a run, or trying to spring a run of Chang, and it's up over the top for a goal kick.
Do this drill all the time in practice where you back off of your cone, you pretend it's a defender, you back off 2 yards. He did a great job separating himself from the defender there at the top of the box, but can he turn and face his defender a little bit quicker and then maybe sidestep, get a shot off, give himself a little bit more options? By taking that touch he did, he really only gave himself the option to either go way back or go back to Chang, and Chang wasn't expecting that ball.
Brody. Back to Horst. Horst getting minutes tonight with the Monarchs. Down on loan from the first team, as well as Aaron Herrera and Connor Sparrow, as well as Jose Hernandez. Can't forget him.
So what Fresno have done, though, they come up with a game plan that even if they go 1-0 down, their game plan is not going to change. They're still going to go route one. Bustamante, you can see they're kind of defending in more of a 4-4-2. They line up in a 4-4-1-1 as they attack, and they come to a 4-4-2, and they're trying to play these long balls. The only problem is the Monarchs are playing great long balls, and the marking's not tight enough on the outside mids, and they're just getting a little bit too much joy and freedom. They need to close down that space.
Unfortunately for Fresno to go down here early on, they dominated those first 8 minutes until the Monarch goal.
Yeah, the ball was in the Monarchs' half for the majority of it. It was a couple missed clearances. They were putting on the good pressure. They were doing a good job keeping the ball pinned in the Monarchs' half. But that just all of a sudden changed with Andrew Brody's great individual effort. And now they have to really come at the Monarchs, which is not something you want to do here at Zion Bank Stadium.
Ryden looks to play it forward, takes a deflection off Renato Bustamante. It'll be a goal kick for Connor Sparrow and the Monarchs.
The possession is going to be the best friend of the Monarchs on this one. Make them run, make them chase, make them so tight on defense that when they get the ball, they can't do anything offensively. That's what you're looking to do.
After coming off a game Saturday night, one of the big challenges, a quick turnaround like that. And Fresno seeing that 2 games at altitude can be a challenge for any side, let alone a side that's playing a couple days apart.
Couple days apart in this heat, it's just not an easy thing, and especially after coming off a loss in a game that you didn't score. Now you're going down 1-0 to the league leaders in the Monarchs, and it's just going to be a tough hill to climb. Soccer is soccer, though. Anything can happen. Get a goal back quick, and then you get to set back into your rows, sit back against the Monarchs, and counterattack like you want to.
Fresno only having scored 4 goals of their 22 on the road this season. Not a side that's been very effective on the road.
Good challenge there put in by Mickey Daly on Aaron Herrera. Going down, nice clean challenge. Nobody went in too hard.
Ball's on the pitch. As Daly will throw it in just inside the Fresno half.
You can see how tired they are and how much energy they're trying to save by walking to every single ball, even though they're down 1-0.
Casares, he'll pick up his head, sprays it wide to Johnson. Johnson really has not got active in this game so far. He'll cut in, looking forward. Nice ball there, forward to Daly. Daly's inside the 18, tries playing it forward. He'll take a deflection off Hurd. It'll be the first corner of the match for Fresno.
Commentator's curse strikes again. As you say it, he plays a great ball in behind. I actually think he got a little bit lucky. It was Mickey Daly's great run that made him find that ball. The ball, I think, was played into Bustamante's foot. A little bit to the right, but Mickey Daly's great run carried him into it. Good recovery there by Kalen Ryden to see him out and only leave it with the corner.
Juan Pablo will play the corner. Lofted ball, back post. Ball still in, player down. Horst went down, and that's not a good sign when a player goes down without even being challenged. You have to worry. Looks like the Monarchs brain trust is going to get together and determine if they're going to make a substitution here. Looks like players on the field motioning that he might need a substitution as Horst is down. Not something you want to see, as Moberg's going to get
This is something you definitely don't want to see. It didn't look like there was any touch. Maybe he got pushed into an awkward situation. I'm not sure how that happened. I know David Horst, and everybody that does know him knows he's a very tough individual and wouldn't stay down on anything if he had to. But he has had some knee issues throughout his career, playing on this newly solid turf, sometimes in the best for an older player, a veteran like himself. Hopefully he can pick himself up. It's not a big injury. Hopefully he just fell over awkwardly. I don't know.
You know, Chad, and we can talk about that a lot of times when players go down and it's a non-contact injury. Those are sometimes you need to be fearful of those being the worst type of injuries. We hope the best for him out there, but you never know.
I'd rather collide knees with somebody running at full speed in the opposite way in a collision course rather than go down by myself. You know, I've had that happen to me. It's a freak thing. It's always something that, you know, everybody on the field knows right away. You know, only they're bringing the stretcher out here now for David. Hopefully he can walk off on his own strength, but you never know. That's the thing, though, is when you get, you know, sometimes when you get players that come off injury, a lot of times they come and they play with the Monarchs to get back fitness to play with RSL. And the unfortunate thing is that there is a turf field to play on, and that's something that you have to deal with. And that's sometimes not the best, most ideal surface to come back from a knee injury or come back from a calf injury like Sebastian Velasquez. Luke Mulholland had a back issue. Marcelo Silva, when he came down and played, he could only play 30 minutes because his back was getting so tight from the turf. So you get a beautiful flat field with no bumps or anything like that when you play on turf, but when you play on grass, you're allowed to just...
Horst getting helped off the field by the training staff. Looks like he's not putting pressure on that left leg, or excuse me, the right leg, as James Moberg, the University of Washington product, going to enter this match here in the 19th minute of play due to injury.
And Moberg, you know, he's the one that pretty much held the back line together with Nick Beasler and Gallagher all last year. He is a very comfortable slide-in for Jamison Olave. As I said, he was coming back from an injury, working on his fitness. He looked like he was definitely ready to go, but David Horst having to get some minutes with Justin Glad going down in the first minute. Now he goes down. Moberg is definitely a great substitution to make here, and one that Jamison isn't going to regret in the least.
One of the tough things is entering a game in a situation like that. Shot, and a good opportunity for Johnson. Pings the crossbar and goes up and over.
What a terrific technical volley from Jamal Johnson. He comes into it, the ball gets bopping around, it gets over to the side. Tewu heads it back in. It bops over somebody else, and it just falls to Jamal Johnson, and he elects to take it first time. Here it is. Tewu just heading it across. I'm sorry, Tewu winning that. Kalen Ryan doing well to win that, and just great technique. Doesn't keep his balance all the way, but I think that ball was a little bit too high for him, but does a great job. Connor Sparrow, if it's on net, I don't think he has a prayer to actually save it. Absolutely tasered it.
Daly will take the throw in for the Foxes. He'll look forward. Bustamante with the header. It'll be a foul by Herrera. Bustamante, Fresno Pacific University product. A guy I got to play against in college. Player of the Year, I believe, in 2015 for the Pac West Conference. It'll be a free kick for Fresno. 21st minute of play. Free kick just in front of the Monarchs bench. Single man wall for the Monarchs.
So you had Horst in there to deal with Tewu's size. Who's going to pick him up now?
Looking back post, Moberg's there. Headed not completely away. Kept in. Herrera's going to see it out, and it'll be a goal kick for the Monarchs. Herrera does a good job to shield off Theo.
And a really good job there by Aaron Herrera, just not ball watching. As he sees that ball, that touch coming forward, he's starting to make a run in case he did take a good touch, which he did a great job getting over there and just cutting out any danger that might be occurring.
Well, it's going to be played all the way back to Rainish. Rainish, 14 appearances on the season, 3 clean sheets, 36 saves in the 2018 campaign. There'll be another throw-in for Fresno. Fresno with some nice little combinations there. Now they'll try to open the field up. Daly making a long run along the right side.
Calls for a handball there. Assistant referee didn't see anything.
Back to Johnson. Johnson plays it inside the area. Dealt with well by Ryden. He's able to save it for a throw-in instead of a corner.
So I've seen one shot from Jamal Johnson, and I've seen one cross from Jamal Johnson. And both of them were hit with conviction and very well. If I am Hamilton Olave, I'm going to tell them to be even more aware of everywhere that Jamal Johnson is. It seems like he's on one.
Hernandez will play it forward to clear the line for the Monarchs. Monarchs going to try to get out of their own 18.
And the possession's changed again. It's gone back, and Fresno's done a good job of keeping them pinned in. And when they're getting the ball back here, they send it right back in and put the Monarchs under danger. They're doing a great job responding to that early goal that they took.
In the first matchup between these two sides in early May, 67% possession for the Monarchs, and the Monarchs outshot the Foxes 15-4.
It's already been a better performance by Fresno so far this game. When they came in last time, and that even goes, I can't even say that enough now because they even are doing such a great job coming forward offensively. I don't think they had this many attacks in the entire game last time against the Monarchs. They've been in this situation before, and they've responded much better than they did last time. So we'll see what happens with them. Making that early sub kind of is a tough thing for a coach to make. It only gives them 2 subs, especially on a hot day. Can the Foxes figure out a way to utilize that and to make that an advantage for them?
Casares, he'll move forward. Cut off by Adams.
Charlie Adams will pick his head up. Chandler Hoffman was in between the center backs with a high line. We'd like to see Charlie give Chandler Hoffman a chance there.
Hoffman's not a guy known for his complete breakaway speed, but he's able to, if he's able to find that space, he's a clinical finisher.
He's a clinical finisher. He's a smart forward. He knows he's not the fastest person out there. So if he gets that ball and it's good enough space where he can take 1 or 2 touches, he can veer himself in front of the defender and bob and weave as he's going through, cut off that, and still be first to the goal. But Del Campo and Corey Brown probably possess similar speed that Chandler does. So if he gets on a breakaway, I expect him to stay on a breakaway.
Johnson's going to switch the field. Looking wide. Bale's going to try to keep it in. Looks like it crossed the line. It'll be a throw-in for the Monarchs. Andrew Brody with the throw-in to Chang. Brody tries to get it forward. Takes a deflection, and Moberg will play it out. Monarchs struggling a little bit tonight to clear lines. Fresno doing a good job of keeping the pressure on, even being down 1-0.
This is what you want to do when it's hot as a defensive team. It's better to defend for the first 5 seconds after the ball turns over than defend for 40 seconds.
Johnson in the corner, defended by Herrera. He'll pick up his head, left-footed ball inside the box. Renato pushes down Ryden. It'll be a free kick for the Monarchs.
Going with a strike percentage that would have probably been somewhere underneath 5%. He would have been just as lucky to catch an ace river. But that was very interesting. I think he kind of was just going with what he was doing. Keaton Ryden was on his left, did a good job. That would have been some goal if he had actually turned it in. No foul was committed.
Fresno getting a few more opportunities tonight than they had in early May when the two sides met the first time.
This is what they've been successful in. Connor Sparrow has to play long more times than not. And the back line of Fresno FC have done a great job just gobbling up and winning everything, putting it back into the midfield and hoping they win the second ball as well. If they're not going to win the first ball, the Monarchs need to be a little bit better getting around that second ball and being on their toes right after that initial first touch is taken off a goal kick.
Portillo will pick up his head, looking forward to Chang. Both players thought the other was going to get to it first. They'll be out for a Fox's throw-in.
This is turning out to look a lot like Iceland or Argentina in the World Cup. Everybody expected Iceland just to sit back against Argentina, but they came out flying against them. Sometimes you have to play a good team with the best of what you got and kind of risk it all, which Iceland did, and it worked out really well for them. So Fresno FC using that kind of same game plan and tactics to see if it works out for them.
Johnson, nice ball inside the box. Ryden didn't know anything about it, took a ball to the chest, might have got the wind knocked out of him.
This is definitely something you don't want when it's 95 degrees outside. You can barely breathe already.
Portillo, Herrera, back to Ryden. Ryden's just gonna play it forward. He's still trying to catch his breath.
That's somewhere where you take a seat, you get your breath back, and it just takes 20 seconds, but make sure he's okay.
Monarchs already made a substitution. James Moberg. Plua also on the bench as a defensive substitution available tonight for the Monarchs. Williams as well. Right, it looks to be all right. Connor Sparrow inside his own 18. Monarchs lead 1-0 on an 8th-minute goal by Andrew Brody. Ball up top. Del Campo's going to play it back to Rainish with his head. And the Foxes will reset.
See, this is what the Monarchs need to do. Charlie Adams taking the lead right there, pushing further up. I'd like to say, there you go, Jose steps with him. That's what Fresno has been doing to the back line of the Monarchs and what the Monarchs needed to do to the back line. They've only got that 1-0 lead, and they seem way too comfortable. Great one touch from Chandler Hoffman out to Chang.
Out wide, Chang inside the 18. He cuts in, gets past his first defender, looking for Hoffman. Still just outside the area. Herrera making a nice overlapping run. Portillo, Monarchs will play it all the way back to Moberg. Fresno doing a good job applying a lot of pressure on the Monarchs, trying to push them back inside their own 18. Teyu, Ford, Sparrow, Teyu collide. Sparrow able to collect himself and go back to goal. Johnson, defended by Herrera. Will be a throw-in for Fresno. Good opportunity there for Fresno.
A little bit of a mix-up. Like you said, ball gets turned over. Jose tries a clever little dummy. Chandler's not on the same page. Ball gets turned over and comes right back, as we spoke to in the first part of the game, with Connor Sparrow coming up a little short on his corner kick, or his goal kick. As that ball comes in, they have 5 guys in that half, and Telu was on his horse. Great ball fed into him by Bustamante. As it's going through, Caden Ryder shows great strength holding him off. And out of the 2 that run into Connor Sparrow, I think I'd rather have Kalen Ryden, because Telu's an absolute tank. Has size similar out there to Josie Altador, and just even more impressive Ryden's actual presence on that play.
Ball inside the 18, headed wide by Ryden. Hernandez, no attacking options in front of him. That's going to be a yellow card shown to Brown in the 30th minute of play as he slowed down that attack and stuck out the forearm.
Really just lazy defending here. It's well into the half. Everybody's getting a little bit tired, but there's 3 players back. There really shouldn't be that. If you just turn your back to him as he kicks the ball over, Corey Brown just takes that foul in the back from Jose Hernandez instead of vice versa. And it was really good job there by Jose Hernandez to realize that he was 1 versus 3 and to just try and get something out of the play.
Moberg looking forward to Hoffman. Hoffman with a nice little skill check there.
Hoffman really looking like himself, coming back and being that good hold-up play, that one-touch passing that he's so well known for. He has such good one-touch passing when he holds up the ball and such good one-touch finishing when he's in that 6-yard box.
Hernandez, he'll pick up his head. Looking forward to Hurd. Hurd inside the 18, playing it across the 6, no one home. And Fresno will play it forward.
Great ball in there from Hurd. He's really I didn't really know if he had time to look up and see who was in the box, but he plays it into a very dangerous spot, top of the 6, hoping somebody from the midfield. You see Chandler making that near post run and Cheng on the far post, but nobody making that run from deep. Someone's got to realize that maybe next time if he gets in that same position that they need to find that center and fill those gaps.
Foxes will try to move forward. Brody tries to play a back heel. only to find his teammate standing right behind him. It'll take a deflection out in the 31st minute of play, and it'll be a throw in for Fresno.
Too quick of a 1-2 for Chang. Here's that hydration break I think we might see here.
FIFA mandated hydration break. Here in the 32nd minute of play. Both teams will head over to the side of the field and get some water in them. Monarchs coaching staff down there talking about tactical adjustments down there. And Chad, in a situation like this, Monarchs up 1-0. Looking good so far. What adjustments need to be made?
We've done a really great job, actually, except for the goal that you took, was a great individual effort. Can't really do much about. Andrew Brody just made a great individual play with Chandler Hoffman, again laying off a great pass. And then the response last game here at Zions Bank Stadium against the Monarchs, Fresno just looked like they were even more beaten after the goal. That's not the case. They looked better a team before the goal, and they've kind of looked a better team after the goal. They've been the one putting all that constant pressure. There hasn't been too much great playmaking ability and shot creation outside of Jamal Johnson's great half volley that he took and hit off the crossbar. But it just shows that they are willing to attack. They're not going to sit back and just take this loss. Like we said before, this might be a midweek game where you decide, hey, this isn't going to be that type of game that we go out and win playing against the first place team at their home. But they've done such a great job so far responding. Can they get a goal in this next 15 minutes before the half and reward themselves?
And really, that's one of those big things you have to do. See if you can get something back here before the half. Because going in the halftime break, down 1-0 doesn't bode well for most teams here at Zions Bank Stadium.
Doesn't bode well, but even going down 1-0 and taking 1-0 into the half with the way they've played would be an okay thing, knowing that they can come out in the second half after they get their lungs back, get their rest, get the ice rags on their head, come back and regroup, and after the shade kind of comes in, hopefully you get a little bit more relief from that. But this is, like you said, this is a coaching moment that most coaches don't normally get. This isn't something that I can even really speak to because I wasn't a part of this. Hydration breaks weren't mandated until a few years ago. So it's not something that I've really been a part of, but it has to be an advantageous thing for the coaches to be able to get all their players in and change their tactics or whatever.
Making some tactical adjustments. And like I mentioned, Fresno 0-5-2 when trailing at half, but when tied at half, 2-1-2. So an opportunity really to change the game if they're able to find themselves. Haven't been a great side when they've trailed at the half. And
they don't know that record off the top of their head. They don't get that said to them by the coaches. They don't remind them of records of stats. Coaches hate stats. So what they tell them, but what the players do know that they've been in this situation. So if they do go in tied at half, there's going to be a much better feeling going into the locker room than them being down 1-0 at half and knowing that they've never come back and won a game. That's something that they'll definitely know, but they won't know the exact numbers.
Casares all the way back to the center back. Daly spread out wide. Fresno inside their own half, maintaining possession. Looking forward. Brody going to be in a foot race. Maffeo, I believe the flag up here on the near side.
Unfortunate. Del Campo plays a great ball behind. They've played a lot of good balls in behind that are making the Monarchs defenders turn and run and face their own goal and make a decision to either kick it out, play bad goalkeeper back, or try and play another defender. But Fresno is pushing so many people up that it's making it hard to find really anybody. So that's what they're doing a great job of, is making all the seemingly easy decisions just indecisive in every single play they've done.
Moberg with the reset. He'll play it back to to Sparrow. Rainish, that was an easy one said. On the opposite side of the field. Sparrow in the all-green kit tonight.
Connorman, I like that you said that. He cares a lot about his looks and that hair of his.
Hey, well, he's got a nice goatee going on. Captain Jack Sparrow down there.
Well, he has a goatee going on. For sure.
Hernandez not able to keep it in. Daly with the throw-in. Nice little man bun in the goatee.
But this is it right here. Can they step up? Can Hoffman find that angle? There you go. Chang, next one up. Next one up is Adams. Really well done to play out of the back there by Fresno. Just too late in stepping.
Chang applies pressure. Ryden will step up and cut off the pass. Out wide to Herrera. Ryden back to the keeper. Bustamante with the two-handed shove there to Ryden. Looking forward to Hoffman. Not the game of the Monarchs in a situation like that, trying to find Hoffman. Hoffman does not stand at a very high height. Not the best looking ball to him in the middle, or the best option per se. Hurd. Herrera behind him. Ball back to Herrera. Into Charlie Adams. He'll pick up his head to Hernandez. Overlapping run from Adams inside the box. Looking back post. Hoffman was there and just could not connect.
I don't know if Hoffman mistimed the flight or misjudged the flight of this ball, but it looked to be a great ball in from Charlie Adams as he comes out here on the left and swings a first-time ball in. Looks like it's destined for Charlie Hoffman's head, and he looks like he's a little bit too worried about the post that he's about to run into, and I think he thought he was closer to the post than he actually was. If he commits to it and he heads it, I'm sure it goes in the net or at least gets it on goal. But just, unfortunate that he was so close. Great ball in by Charlie Adams. Could have been 2-0. Fresno lucky to escape there.
Looking forward to Teyu. Bodies up well. Does a good job as a hold-up attacking option. As he goes down, it'll be a free kick for Fresno.
The one thing that he doesn't do is he doesn't grab a whole lot of shirt from what I see. And Caleb Ryan's a very physical player as well as he is. And the referee sees Teyu and Ryden both giving it to each other. He's going to let some things more handsy go.
Ball forward, Sparrow comes out, takes a punch. Renato still down on the ground, shot just wide. Good opportunity there for Fresno.
That's the second massive hit that Conrad Sparrow has taken. He gets absolutely undercut on this play. Bustamante coming through, and he actually is hit by Moberg somehow. Lucky to get his right leg out from underneath him. It almost collapses underneath him. Then Tewu responds the best, gets a nice little header as Connor's retreating, doesn't really know where his goal is. And almost, you can see right here, two-handed punch, very brave from Connor Sparrow, but almost has to make a second substitute, Jameson Olave, with his keeper being so brave.
Johnson, overlapping run from Daly. Daly will receive it back. Takes a deflection. It'll be a throw-in for the Foxes. Quickly taken. Herrera wins the header temporarily. It'll be a foul just outside the 18 on the angle. A short corner kick and a good opportunity for Fresno.
What I like is Fresno respects who the Monarchs are. They know that they're a good team, but they are not being respectful of them during this 90 minutes is what you can't be. You got to play to your strengths. You got to trust that your game plan, your tactics are going to work. This will probably be a design set piece. This is one of the perfect locations for a design set piece. A lot of times you'll get people starting in the front. They'll all go to the back post. You get someone wheel around and hit it with his right foot here. That's the play that is most famous.
Kafa, quickly taken. Good look there. Definitely a training ground play. As he was looking for
Charlie Adams can break out.
Adams forward to Hernandez. Hernandez has the overlapping run. He'll take it himself. Shot parried away, still inside the 18, and no one's home as Portillo was flagged off on the second opportunity.
I'm completely okay with Jose Hernandez being selfish here. Charlie Adams takes a great touch past his player. Jose waiting for Portillo, waiting for Portillo. Portillo is what opens this up for him. Comes in on his favored right foot. Unleashes a good shot. Kyle Rainish is up to the challenge to keep it out. And like you said, Portillo was just offside on the rebound. Played it into no danger again. People not coming forward on the other side, but great save there by Kyle Rainish and good counterattack by the Monarchs.
Johnson eludes the tackle of Portillo. Cazares. Forward to Johnson. Johnson thought he had a run to the right side. No one home. Hernandez will collect.
If the Fresno midfielders can pick up their heads just a little bit, they'll see that Tay was making some very intelligent runs in between the defense. When Moberg steps or when Kalen steps, he's making that run in behind them. They haven't really found him yet or seen his run. He has to be vocalized. He has to be vocal to them and tell them either at halftime or sooner that he is open when they get the ball in these central positions close to the line. And the other forward, Bustamante's been checking it off. Defender goes with him every single time. Look for Tewu to get in behind.
Ryden to Portillo. Portillo over to Hernandez. Hernandez is going to go forward. He'll run at the defense. Monarch's going to slightly reset. Portillo's going to spray it wide to Chang, trying to get him on the touchline. Nice settle from Chang, overlapping run from Brody. He'll cut into his left foot, tries to take a crack and a deflection.
Great defense there by Feiwu, just waiting for the shot to occur before he put his leg up there.
Bustamante and Portillo in a foot race. Played back to Connor Sparrow. Sparrow's got Moberg wide. Does a good job to get out of the box, pick up his head, and play it forward.
And that's the interesting part. Is it going to be a tougher second half of the year for Michael Chang facing these teams that he's already faced once, spent a lot of his time out there in Charleston? Is he going to have the same joy now that players, other teams and coaches know what he's about, and they know how frequently Monarchs like to utilize him out there on the right and how frequently he likes to come in on the left? I was talking to him the other day, telling him that as soon as he develops that move to the right to mix it up with his great cut to the left, it'll free up his left more as he becomes more confident on his right, or at least coming to his right and creating crosses.
A lot of players work well on that opposite foot, being able to cut in, and that's a tactic from some teams, to have an outside wide player with playing on his opposite foot so he can cut in and take a nice crack from wide. Another guy that's done that very well is Master Ford, Fresno. Shot! And a deflection off Moberg. Moberg does a nice job to go to ground and keep that one off frame.
Again, getting their pocket picked, and a great counter-attacking option. Fresno, if they've done nothing well, they haven't done one thing well, and I feel like that is just counterattacking with speed. They had plenty of speed in Feiwu on the outside, but Moberg does a great job to save Connor Sparrow there from having to actually make a save himself. Feiwu opening up, getting a good shot, a good chance, turned into a half chance by the great defensive play from James Moberg.
Second corner kick of the night from Fresno. Sun in the face of Sparrow. One man on the post. Chang just out on the 6.
Floated in with the sun being right there.
Ball driven to the back post. Daly's there. Looked like he was going to head it in. He'll keep it in. Another opportunity for Fresno. Del Campo. Headed in, still in the 6. Hoffman rises. Ball's at the top of the 18, player on the ground. Chang gets it out from under the feet. And the Monarchs will attack forward. They don't have numbers. They'll play it wide to Hernandez. He tries to stay on, and he'll try to keep it in. He's not going to get there as it goes out just in front of the corner flag for a Fox's throw-in.
So this is what Jose Hernandez isn't used to. He's not used to being that person out there all the time. If you're forward and Chandler Hoffman, what I'm doing is I'm actually coming 5-10 yards off the line as I see Charlie Adams coming across, and I'm making a diagonal run trying to time it with him, but I'm trying to lock eyes with Charlie Adams as I'm running across the field rather than making that run to the corner, leading Charlie so he can only play that ball in behind, and on the turf it runs out.
And sometimes that's difficult to try to play the right touch and put just enough pace on it on turf, especially turf that's been wet. They put some water on before the game.
But what you know about Charlie Adams is he loves being the person that passes to the goal. So can you put yourself in a position and make a run that is going to lead you towards the goal? Because you know with his ability, and especially on his left peg, that he can put the ball almost anywhere he wants to.
He's given the go there. Daly, he'll play it forward, clips it inside the box.
That's the heat. That's the tiredness. He could have taken more touches down the line to get himself a better crossing situation. But that heat and laid on the half, you're going to see a lot less people not making runs that they should be making purely because of how hot it is out here.
Charlie Adams, step and take the free kick. Quickly looks to Chang. Header won by Cooper. Monarchs will take the free kick quickly. Goes forward. Hernandez looking forward to Brody. And just a sloppy, lackadaisical ball there from Hernandez.
More attention is required. More attention. So, I think that was probably a result from the 50-yard run he made to the ball that he ended up getting. Like I said, very tired. Sometimes when you're tired, late on in games, late on in halves, you're going to make mistakes like that. But even more so, like I said, I'll keep saying it, when it's this hot out, you're just going to make mistakes.
Bustamante goes down, and there'll be a free kick for Fresno. Brody defending there. Brody called for the foul.
These games can be good, though, for the Monarchs. They're so used to dominating possession and dominating everything else. But this is the problem that they ran into against Sacramento. When Sacramento came in to the postseason game last year in the first round of the playoffs, they just sat back and played a formation where they're like, you know what, we'll take you in a PK shootout. And this is that type of game where they make the opponent makes it very frustrating and defends much higher than you actually anticipate. I bet you Hamas and Olave can't wait to get the team in at halftime and tell them exactly that. Listen, we can counterattack with early quick balls if we get into those spots. If we get the ball, get the guys on the touchline, let's play those long diagonal balls and change the field of position.
Inside the box, Moberg. Ryden will head it wide. Still kept in by Fresno. Daly, he'll pick up his head, plays it in. Nice looking ball, tantalizing across the 6. It'll be cleared. Portillo's gonna go forward. He stays up under the challenge of Daly. He has Hernandez running forward. Hernandez inside the 18, defended by 2, takes a whiff. There's, he tries to put it back to Hoffman. Good look there, picked up his head and just lost focus.
Again, just tired. He's tired. He hasn't started a lot of games, hasn't played a whole lot of minutes. Comes into this game and, you know, he takes a big whiff right there. I would have much rather seen him at least take that whiff on goal if he's going to, because he really didn't have much support. If he pulls off that pass, he's gonna hit a pass that he's probably not gonna make, very often. But he has a good angle there. Go ahead and rip a shot. Nobody's gonna say anything. Really good job there by Portillo to be first to that ball and create that counterattack. Great hustle.
Del Campo to Brown. Brown looks forward. Nice little header there. Wide from Teu. Phil. To Casares. Out wide, flags up here on the near side. Slightly drifted off. The official on the near side has her flag up.
And we're going to take her word at pretty much everything she calls tonight, because she does have the most difficult job out of all 4 of the officials tonight. Looking straight into the sun for the majority of the game is not going to be easy to tell what's offside and what's not, especially as the shadows cast across the field.
One of the things that people often complain about is playing on a football field where there's lines. Sometimes that's helpful in a situation like that, being able to see markers. But you see different shades in the grass, and that can help, but no benefit of VAR. We're not going to see anybody making the box tonight.
Well, on this turf and the sun, the way it's casting on it, it's very hard to see the lines, so that could be another thing, not just offsides.
Hernandez plays it forward. Hoffman just outside the 18. He'll take a crack. Chested down, but it'll go out for a corner kick for the Monarchs. The first of the match here in the 45th minute of play. Ball played in, back post. Stoppage time is over. Thought it was going to be 4 minutes. Played about 2 minutes of stoppage time. 45 minutes have been played here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs lead 1-0 on a goal from Andrew Brody in the 8th minute of play in what played out to be deja vu for the Monarchs, scoring a goal again against Fresno in the 8th minute.
I mean, it was the same exact script as they wrote last time, but there's been a different response from Fresno. And that's been what's been so great to see, and that's what Adam Smith can be happy about as they go into halftime. There's not much that needs to be said. If I was him, I would tell them to do exactly the same as they've been doing, being wary of the counterattacks, but just know that we've had the better of the ball, we've had the better of the play, we've had the better of the chances. And maybe not the better of the chances build up, but there hasn't been a whole lot of great execution from the Monarchs, so they're going to have to show that up. That second goal is going to be very important on a day like today.
On the opposite side, if you're Mark Briggs, not too many adjustments to be made. Obviously had to use one of your 3 substitutions early on to take Horse off and bring Moberg on, but some attacking options still on the bench for the second half.
Some attacking options still on the bench. Thompson Olave, he's going to have to find out a way to deal with the heat is going to be the biggest problem in his last 2 subs. Who are the 2 players that are going to be the people that most likely might run out of steam? Is it going to be in attack? Is it going to be in defense? Is it going to be in defense? I'm going to have to leave that until one of those players needs a break. Aaron Herrera hasn't had a whole lot of teams with RSL, and he hasn't played a lot with the Monarchs. So it's gonna how long can he actually go? That's something that Homeson's gonna keep in the back of his mind.
1 goal separates us here at the half. We'll take a quick break and be back with an interview with Taryn Meyer, Director of PR and Communications for the Monarchs and the Real RSL Academy.
He takes the shot and puts it in the back of the net. Oh, what a strike from the captain! Back out! He's got it!
Now Sacramento looking to push it forward. Iwasa comes back for it from Paul. Matiasic to his right. Goes inside, being held. Can be a foul shot. A goal is in! Cameron Iwasa with number 6 on the year!
Oh my God, Cam Iwasa made that look so easy.
27th minute. Van Avik. Off the crossbar and in, and it's 1-0. Reno, 1868.
Attacking spot in the center of the field. Here's another overlapping run. It's Reed again who's on the move. Reed inside the 18, left-footed strike, and it's a hat trick for number 30 for Ottawa.
It says it's a free kick for the Swope Park Rangers. Taken short. Sanovic on his left! Seth Sanovic!
One from the left, one from the right, one right down the middle. Here comes Malcolm, takes a shot, and he scores! Shane Malcolm off the free kick!
Now Silva! Oh my goodness! What a goal! Mateo Silva!
Amadou Dia. Jason Johnson! You gotta be kidding me! An otherworldly goal from JJ! 2-2 at home. Here the young season, and a golazo from Manu Ledesma.
Bourgeois got ahead to it. They score! Surely that's the winner! It's from Papa Mensah!
For Cheney and Johnson! Jamal Johnson does it again! And a goal! And an equalizer! Big save by John McCarthy. Buffon punched away Ranjitsing. On Sparrow again.
Wow. What a save.
Connor Sparrow shot from distance. And Cochran with that brilliant effort. My goodness.
It's Job saved by Tambakis.
Hernandez can take it. Big save. Dykstra. Near post. Barrino, another huge save. Matiasic, great save for Restrepo.
Lomas got ahead to it, and Matt Pickens makes the save.
Available, looking for Lomas. Bound! North Carolina FC!
On to the right, Smith. Into the box. Headed past McCarthy, and there it is! Steps, strikes, and scores. Benjamin headed, goal! Penn FC!
This one will drop to Miller. Miller tie!
Back here at the half, Monarchs still lead 1-0 at the halftime break, courtesy of an Andrew Brody goal and a Chandler Hoffman assist. We're now joined by one of the legends around here, around Zions Bank Real Academy, Taryn Meyer, Director of Public Relations for the Real Monarchs. Taryn, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a long time coming.
Was in the booth this last season. Now on the flip side, working for the organization in a little bit of a unique, different role. A lot of those articles getting written by you.
I got to make sure you chuckleheads have the information so you guys know what you're talking about.
A lot of our
right?
pregame notes comes from Taryn. So.
Does a good job prepping us for games, getting the information we need. Taryn, let's talk a little bit about the Academy. Academy playoffs still underway here in the United States, and both Real Salt Lake sides knocked out.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Real Salt Lake sides get knocked out right on the verge of the quarterfinals. They both won their groups down in Southern California, but unfortunately aren't going to Kansas City for the quarterfinals onward. The U17s had a great season. Obviously, head coach, I should say technical director, Martin Vasquez, what a man to work under. U19s as well, highlighted by Sebastian Soto. 42 regular season goals, 46 altogether in 4 games in the Academy playoffs. He gets 4 goals. The kid's incredible.
And he was one of those guys that made it possible late in the game for the Monarchs to move on to that next game. Scored against Baltimore, I believe, the game-tying goal, 3-3, to allow them to move on.
Yep, great finish, great finish. Instinctive striker's finish. A lot of good players on that team.
You know, Taryn, we talk about this. There's a lot of those guys in the Academy that a lot of fans out there are curious to hear about. We see them on and off with the Monarchs. We haven't had a chance to see Soto up here with the Monarchs yet, but Ledesma, Ochoa, guys like that making appearances for the Monarchs. What does the future hold for those guys?
So what's really cool about what's developing right now, and you guys have probably heard it a million times, is that the pyramid system here is tangible now. You see just over our right shoulder, the kids live out there, so they can see the Monarchs. If you look out the Academy dorm rooms, you can see Rio Tinto Stadium. So 3 players from the RSL Academy U19s, Richard Ledesma, David Ochoa, Vladimir Mendoza, have all made their professional debuts this year, which is quite incredible. Jacob Jackson and Sammy Toyaga have been on the bench for the Monarchs. And so you see how this is developing, and the likes of Deloy Hansen, Craig Weibel, Mike Petke, everybody else involved in the whole system. You can see what is starting to happen here now, and it's actually quite incredible.
That's something that I feel that RSL being not such a hot draw as LA or Chicago or Toronto, where you get those big market players because they want to live in the cities. I feel like RSL as a whole just has to concentrate so much more on their academy production, because we really just have to develop players that actually want to play here or from here. And Martin Vasquez, as you spoke on it earlier, has done an unbelievable job with those kids, and then it gets led up through Hamza Malavi and the coaching staff here at the Monarchs all the way to Mike Petke.
Yeah, and the club really prides itself on growing. Like you said, it's not a big market, and that's fine. We'll grow our own players, and we'll play with our own kids.
Which
and it seems to be doing well.
Last U20s was
and that's another thing, to piggyback on that, I think it's a very good point that a lot of these kids that I just mentioned have spent time in the U.S. youth system under Tab Ramos and have had rave reviews. Kids will get pulled into the 17 camp and end up finishing camp with the 20s. It's just amazing to see the development of these kids.
And that's one of the things that the U.S., I know we talk right now, a lot of conversation on soccer is about this structure here in the U.S., because people are struggling to understand how the U.S. of 300 million plus people can't field or can't even make the World Cup, I should say, let alone typically field a World Cup side that's going to compete for the trophy.
And look, I'll go on the record and say there's so much more that goes into 300 million people. Why can't we find X amount to go to the
totally
World Cup?
agree.
There's so many more factors from the top to the bottom that the U.S. is on the right track. And I think a lot of people will argue with me on the contrary with that, but I think the U.S. as a federation is doing a fantastic job to develop, to restart. Expect to see us in 2022.
Well, what we fight against in this country is we fight against all the other sports that kids love to play. You play with your friends, play. You don't grow up just like Messi, where he's got a ball stuck at his foot at age 3, and that's the only thing that touches his foot. There's the only sport he plays. It's very hard to tell a kid, like, hey, you're going to actually dedicate your entire life to this. It has to be something that the kid wants. It has to be. I heard a story about Christian Pulisic and how he would go every single day to his dad's 3rd division men's team, and that's why he became good. He's around it. He's surrounded. He's immersed in it, and it becomes part of his fabric. And that's something that what you guys are doing here, what RSL is doing here, is just so great to see, is because you guys are starting that fabric early, and it will be better for the players.
And I think that's that vision of Deloy Hansen that we talk so often about. I mean, Taryn, I think you alluded to it very well. The players are living right behind us, living 100 feet away from a stadium that has a nice turf field, and then another couple 100 feet away from 2 full-size fields under a stadium, inside an arena, essentially.
And it's funny because they all ride their scooters in every day, but they get to hang out with
their
the pros.
Razor scooters.
They're Razor scooters. They get to brush shoulders with the Nick Romandos, Kyle Beckermans, and they get to learn from the best of this league has to offer, and then some of them get the opportunity to, of course, showcase what they have at the USL level.
Final question, what can we expect from some of these guys here moving on? The U18s, U19s there, what can we expect from them?
To be perfectly honest with you, that's coaches and technical directors' discretion. I think you'll see a lot of these kids don at least a Real Monarchs uniform before they head off to school, or even after, to be quite honest. Whether that's just a temporary thing or whether that's a full-fledged contract remains to be seen, but I think a lot of these kids have a bright professional future ahead of them.
7 of the players on the U18, U19 squad have signed Division I scholarship offers, heading off to school here in August, and an opportunity to hopefully see them in the kit in these summer months. But that remains to be seen. The likes of Jose Hernandez did that a few years ago before he went off to UCLA, and we're seeing him on the pitch
actually
tonight
played,
for the Monarchs.
scored a goal, went to UCLA the very next day.
A wild setup for Jose Hernandez. Still 1-0 here at the half. Taryn, thanks for joining us and providing us with some insight. Taryn Meyer, Director of Public Relations for the Real Monarchs and the RSL Academy. Both sides getting ready to come out on the pitch as we have the officials making way back onto the field. Second half action coming here shortly. Like we mentioned, good crowd on hand here for $2 Tuesday. Taryn provided us with some insight, Chad, talking a little bit about what is to come for this organization. And you mentioned it, I believe, hitting on the important points. This is a growing, living, breathing thing that's going to provide fruits here in the future.
Exactly. This is a tree. This is Deloy Hansen's tree. This is, MLS is a single entity sport. It's profit sharing. It's all that stuff. Until there's club autonomy, until owners can actually fight for players freely, you're gonna see stuff like that. And right now, it's probably better for the growing of places like this, academies like this, because it makes them so much more important. Coming up through systems like this, put your name out there for everybody, not just here, but globally. Especially players like Ledesma are on the U18. 7 out of the 18 players, or 22 players, are on that team or coming from here. They're playing on the bench with the Monarchs. They're doing a great job. Unfortunate with the results, just recently, but that happens to the best of the teams, and they have been one of the best academies around.
And they got knocked out by the Columbus Crew on the other side. That's really quality, a 1-0 loss for them. But they're guys that have bright futures. New Mexico, Akron, to name a couple of the universities where those guys are headed. They're quality players. I would be surprised to not see them don, like Taryn mentioned, a Monarchs jersey here in the future. And that's what the future of this game is. Players making their way up from academy, playing for the Monarchs, playing for Real Salt Lake eventually on the hallowed grounds of Rio Tinto Stadium.
Well, it's another factor that we just talked about that goes into it, because now schooling is also a factor. For a lot of professionals, the top professionals in the world, they don't have much more than a high school degree. But here, education is a very important thing for life after soccer. So it's very important to some of these kids, and more important to some than others. But if you do take that leap and go professional without going to college, you risk getting an early injury, and then you never know what your life could become. So there's so many risks and rewards and balances that you have to go through as a young person. But you have to. Being at places like this teaches you to grow, I feel, and helps them get into that college environment. Being at dorms, cafeterias, a co-ed campus, I think it's just a great atmosphere for them to be brought into, whether they're going to go to school or professional.
Both teams out on the pitch, ready to get underway here for second half action between these two sides. Still 1-0. 8th minute goal by Andrew Brody, an assist by Chandler Hoffman. We'd like to thank all those of you tuning in tonight, or locally on KMYU or nationally on ESPN+.
A little bit more shade on the field this time. That'll be nice going in. Probably lower the degrees a little bit. That sun could not set soon enough for both of us, so we can see how this great second half that's going to be happening here on $2 Tuesdays. What a fantastic turnout by everybody.
5,000 seat stadium here at Zions Bank Stadium on the campus of Zions Bank Real Academy. We're underway here in the second 45. Monarchs are going to get their subs up and moving. Fresno made a substitution, and we'll get that number here for you shortly. Johnson. Now wearing the captain's armband here in the second half for Fresno. Chang. Forward to Adams.
Looks like Kalfa, who's a little bit older and the veteran, was taken out. You don't know if that was maybe for an injury or, maybe just to rest him for next week's game. But he's been taken out. Bustamonte's still filling that position underneath. And now we have Ribeiro that comes in and plays alongside Cesares.
The Brazilian attacking player.
You might recognize Ribeiro from last game here at Fresno. Was just a force in the middle, big presence. Gets strong in the tackles, just like Darren Portillo, who does a great job of actually getting out of that one without being injured or catching any of the bottom side of the cleat of Ribeiro. Portillo just asking for the advantage to be played there.
A double substitution made as Barrera also entered the match for Corey Brown.
You have to think that maybe one of those was injury related. Not very common when the team's not doing bad. If anything, I'd say they were doing well to make 2 substitutions and change. That can really alter the energy and how everything went in the first half, but it also could be tactical and something that they knew beforehand that the players that were starting could only go 45.
Veo now playing center back alongside Del Campo.
Jamal Johnson's also switched sides from Aaron Herrera over here to Andrew Brody. See, maybe have a little bit more luck. Played well in the first half, but Herrera was able to keep him in check, did well.
Herrera now on that right side for the Foxes. Hurd looking forward to Hernandez. Does a good job to win it back for the Monarchs. Out wide to Chang. Chang's inside the 18, ball on his left foot. Looking forward to Adams, and Adams is going to put it up over into the practice field.
At training earlier this week, saw some attacking plays that the Monarchs were going through, and Charlie Adams, they were playing a second ball up to the top of the box, and he was absolutely tasing shots with his left foot, almost unsavable by all 3 goalkeepers. Unfortunately, that fell to his right foot, but if anything falls to his left, he's in fine form right now. Been playing tons of long balls. If he gets one on his left, look for it to be a good chance on target.
Throwing for the Monarchs, Herrera. No changes at the half for the Monarchs. Made their first substitution. Boberg replaced Horst, who went down with an injury early in the first half. Looked like it was going to come up there from the AR. Hoffman does not make a play on the ball. The flag will stay down. Boberg. Hurd wins it in the center of the pitch. Looks up. Looked like he did not see the defender there. He's taken out.
This is very abnormal because probably the tallest player on the field now might actually be Ribeiro. So Hurd just got to pick his head up a little bit. Hoffman was making a run outside there, looking for that dish on the ground towards the corner. Allow people to step up. Really important that the Monarchs can really try and combine their first 2-3 passes every time they collect the ball.
Bustamante, nice give and go. The flag's up, and the shot's going to be wide from Teu. But a decent look there from Fresno.
Close one there. Aaron Herrera looked to be not on the same page as the rest of the 3 defenders, and almost kept Teo on side there. Really good run. Unfortunate not to just be a little offsides.
Brody. A nice job to settle it. Hernandez. Touch gets away from him.
A lot of mental mistakes tonight from Jose Hernandez. Like to see him clean that up, be that person that's going to take care of the ball. That's the Sebastian Velasquez role. That's Rich Ledesma. Both of them have done a great job this year when asked to play that position, that number 10, and really just collecting the ball, keeping the ball. That's so important when you have this 1-0 lead and you're playing in heat like this. A strong challenge there from Teo and Moberg.
Ball forward, Portillo's gonna cut that one off. Looks forward to Hoffman, out wide to Hernandez. Hernandez in the center circle. He'll slow things up and allow numbers to get forward for the Monarchs. Good decision with a 1-0 lead.
Hoffman's done a really good job, even more impressive because they're, oh, he's made a great run, he's on sides.
Hoffman inside the 18, Hoffman, shot! Takes a deflection wide. Rainish does a good job to keep that one wide of frame, and the Monarchs will get their first corner of the second half.
I see Fayu actually being thanked by Rainish right there, and it looks like Fayu might have been the person that actually turned that side, much like James Moberg did to Tayu in the first half. Chandler had a head of steam there and just took a little bit too much time and allowed Fayu to get back on side and allowed the keeper to close him down. Would have liked to see a better shot on target there.
It was a good opportunity for the Monarchs. Ball's whipped in. Ryden was there, headed up by Del Campo. Still inside the 18. Chang will head it back to Rainish.
Hoffman, as I've said many times before, isn't one to rest or to really keep that in his mind. He's got a quick memory. That's why he has 50 goals, and he's one of the third leading goal scorers in all USL history. So expect him, if he gets another chance, to be full of confidence, still, you know, put a much better shot on target.
Good look there. Wide. He'll be out of play for a throw-in for the Monarchs. Cooper was making a nice run, had no one in front of him, had a lot of green space. Ball was not in a position to put him in. Portillo with a nice turn. Here, Fresno's coaches tell him to continue to apply pressure and keep him held in. Hurd goes down. No foul called. Barrera picks up his head. Nice find to Casares. Looking forward. Great ball in. Renato, shot and a save by Connor Sparrow.
Big save by Connor Sparrow. Hasn't been asked to do a whole lot except for his feet, really. Plays a great ball through, the second in as many minutes. Good ball in there, and Bustamante is just getting here first time. Connor does such a great job of closing that space nice and quick and gives him no options but to hit it off him out for a corner. Way to make himself big. Good play there by Fresno to create another chance. Looking more dangerous by the minute.
Another corner kick for Fresno. Fresno seeing if they can equalize here in the 54th minute of play. Can't beat the first defender. Just outside the 18, Hoffman.
And Gibordi's got to be a little bit careful about where he heads that ball. That's right at the top of the penalty area, a little dangerous spot.
Moberg, he'll play it forward. Defended well by Teo.
Teo just continues to be a pest up there for such a big guy. He's really showing a great little engine on him. Worked tremendously hard today.
Adams, he'll pick up his head. Forward to Hurd.
The switch to Chang.
Over to Brody here on the near side. Brody forward to Hoffman. Hoffman out to Chang. Chang's gonna run at his defender. Adams, he'll now look forward, looking for Jose Hernandez to make a cutting run. Del Campo was there to apply some pressure, and Hernandez did not continue his run.
That just kind of comes with Jose not playing with the Monarchs all the time. You don't get used to the run. You don't just know exactly what run he's going to make, much like Charlie Adams and Chandler Hoffman know that more so. So Jose Hernandez has to realize, okay, this is where Charlie Adams likes to play the ball. Can I fill that spot next time in that position? Because he's found himself in advanced forward positions all throughout the game.
Oh, played all the way out for a goal kick for the Monarchs.
For Fresno, they can't change anything. They just have to keep listening to their coach, Adam Smith, and keep this relentless pressure. Anybody that's going to be playing the Monarchs in the near future needs to watch this video of Fresno's defense and the way they approach this game, because it's been very effective. And on the other side of that coin, the Monarchs, even though they're up 1-0, haven't done a great job of game managing so far. They've let a lot of chances go by where they either haven't created the shot, they haven't finished the shot, or it's been a great save by Connor. So those need to be cut down.
Herrera screaming up the left side. Forward to Hoffman. Monarchs going to maintain possession. Forward to Adams. Adams out wide to Hoffman. Monarchs have 2 inside the box, just on the back line of Fresno. Hernandez looking for Hoffman, can't get around Daly. He'll go out for a goal kick.
Monarchs doing a little bit of a better job in the last 5 minutes of keeping the ball pinned in Fresno's half.
Ryden goes up. Boberg there to clean it up. Sparrow, he'll pick up his head and play it high and long across the midfield stripe. Settled by Fresno. Cooper. Hear conversations down on the field. Adam Smith, head coach of Fresno, asking for the ball to be moved quickly. Fresno maintaining possession here.
They've been really just going route one. They've been switching the field a lot in their own defense, but haven't been able to find that same success that the Monarchs have doing it through the midfield.
Bird. He'll run as defender Daly. Daly does a good job to stand him up and win it. Barrera, counterattack coming from Fresno. Ford, Brody's there. Teu, Brody does a good job to go to ground and knock that one out of play. Good defensive effort there by the goal scorer, Andrew Brody.
Brody's a small dog in any fight that I put my money on all day. This guy has such a unbelievable work ethic, and everything that you think he can't do, you got to think again. This guy has so many facets to his game that make him stand out to me, but overall it's just his work ethic and his dedication to throw himself into any challenge and win any ball.
Jose Hernandez for Aaron Herrera. Can't get around the defender. Opportunity here for Fresno.
Oh, looking for Jamal Johnson there. He's looking at the top of the box, wanted to take a touch and hit it. That's who you want on the ball. That's who they need to be getting to that spot. That pass needs to get there.
Monarchs getting a little lackadaisical in their defensive third here as of recent. Fresno looking to capitalize.
If every time they get the ball, they're completing 5 passes, that's a good sign for the Monarchs. That means that they're able to slow the game down and kind of still dictate the pace. But they're not doing that. They're turning the ball after 1 pass, after 2 pass, and that's due to Fresno's defense and high line that they're using, and everybody's dedication to this game plan that Adam Smith has created for today's game.
Hang in there, Gus. You can do it. I believe in you.
Del Campo. It along the back line, find Casares. Bustamante making a run.
And Adam Smith has to love the response that Fresno showed after the loss to Colorado, not scoring, going down. They've had away woes all year. You wouldn't know that they've only scored 4 goals on the road because they've done such a great job in creating chances, but they haven't, much like earlier this year, been able to score.
Ober, nice defensive effort there. Chang. He'll look to go forward. Not a lot of attacking options for the Monarchs. Hoffman's all by himself. Looks forward to Hoffman. Ball inside. Flags up, though.
I love that ball that he plays right there, but I wish he would play it just before. He said there wasn't an attacking option. There was only probably 1 attacking option that was actually up there. Chandler had made a run. There wasn't much gap between the 2 center backs, Feiwu and Del Campo, but Chandler was in that little space. If you play that ball into the forward's feet hard, sometimes the defender will just close straight across and he won't go back like you will, and then it allows Chandler to get that touch out from underneath him and behind the defense.
Chandler was looking for that ball just to be played just a second earlier, started making that run a little early for the likes of Chang.
But that's what you said with that, with the lack of great speed that Chandler had. He's definitely not slow by any means, but he has to time his runs better than most, which he does a good job of. He's just, you know, whether or not they played on the first time, second time. But Chandler has a great relationship with all these players.
Cooper, he's in. He'll try to collect before the touch line. He's able to keep it in, defended by Andrew Brody. Cooper, step over, inside the 18, out the backside, and Herrera's there to clean things up. We're gonna see a substitution coming on here momentarily for Fresno. It'll be their 3rd and final sub. Just pretty early to make that substitution in the 60th minute of play, your 3rd and final. Be a free kick for the Monarchs. Christian Cheney coming on here momentarily. Monarchs will reset. Brody here on the near side to Chang. Chang looking forward to Hernandez, making a nice run. Hernandez tries to get around Del Campo. Del Campo does a good job to body him off the ball. Fresno will look to attack. Looking forward, Johnson, he's in. Sparrow off his line. An opportunity wide for Fresno. Good 2 looks there. Give Sparrow credit for staying high off his line and making sure he won that header.
They found a secret. Fresno has found a secret. They are going route 1, but it's not typical English-style championship soccer route 1. They're not booming it from the outside back up to their tall forward. Their tall forward is making, their big forward is making checks in as well as holding the ball sometimes. But so far this half, we've been seeing him drop, and that ball going in behind to Jamal Johnson, to Bustamante, have been really just been the people that have been most affected in a good way by his running off the ball. And they've been getting through, but Connor Sparrow doing a great job there playing sweeper keeper and clearing it out. And then Tebu going for the Zlatan Ibrahimovic very first side volley. Doesn't quite hit it like him, although I'm sure not many people do.
Christian Cheney will make an appearance in tonight's match. The forward, 6'3", 195, last club Sacramento Republic.
And Cheney's had a good month with 2 goals so far, so he'll be a player that can come in. He's looking to go and have Table and Cheney up top. It's just gonna provide Moberg and Ryden with a really tough physical challenge for the rest of this half.
Balls along the back line for Fresno. You can tell they're sending numbers forward, keeping 3 essentially along the back line of the Monarchs, trying to see if they can find the equalizer here in the 63rd minute of play.
And I'm sorry, you're right. Tebu was off the field, came on by Cheney. The Suns, I told you he was gonna play some tricks on me.
Oker Mountains out there just about to provide us some shade.
I can
almost completely in the shade now.
I can almost guarantee that Tebu was brought off just because he was tired. He was a workhorse today, and he provided such great strength and hold-up play, and getting in behind, to be honest, the entire game. It was giving the 2 center backs just tons of fits. So really well done by him, and hopefully Cheney can come on for Fresno FC and provide a little of a spark that they need.
Adams, he'll pick up his head, play it back to the keeper, Sparrow. Sparrow inside his own 18, looking for options.
He's going.
No pressure, now pressure coming. He'll play it forward, looking to Chang. Chang tries to settle. Does a good job to get it to Brody. Brody's taken down from behind by Casares. Adam Smith vocalize his opinion to Joseph Dickerson.
You really have to watch what you say as a coach in this league, or anybody in this league. Sometimes the fans can't quite create the same sound that they do at Rio Tinto Stadium, so everything is a little bit more audible out here.
Hot mic.
Hot mic.
We have a president that knows quite a bit about that. Hernandez, back to Portillo.
Needs to teach Maradona a little bit about that.
Those are gestures. Unspoken gestures. There were some spoken, repeated on air. It's the second gesture in 24 hours that we've seen from professional athletes. Rough challenge there from Johnson. Johnson's going to see yellow and get a stern talking to here in the 65th minute of play.
Brody still has the legs and the quick feet to move around Johnson there. And Johnson maybe getting a little heavy-legged a little bit. And he comes in kind of hard, throws his foot up towards Brody's knee, not directly at it, but definitely enough to get a yellow card and put himself in the referee's book.
Free kick for Justin Portillo.
Monarchs looking to be bringing in a substitute.
It's going to be the new man. The recently acquired on loan from the Rowdies.
Mr. Jack Blake. Welcome to the Monarchs.
Seeing his first minutes here momentarily.
I watched this kid a lot in practice this week, and he seems to be all that they're touting him up to be. Him and Charlie Adams just have a way of playing the ball like a proper Englishman.
Adams on top of the 18, looking to Chang. Chang trying to turn, unable to do so. Boberg does a good job to read that play and cut off the attack from the Foxes.
Cheney looks to be one to get in behind. Both teams have been playing with a very high line, being more aggressive defensively, higher up the field, leaving themselves a little bit more exposed, and that's led to some breakaways and half chances that haven't really been utilized as good as they could have been, or capitalized on as good as they could have been. But this game still has plenty of chances with 30 minutes or so left.
Chang and Cooper go up. Be out for a throw-in. A couple boxes down from us here at Zions Bank Stadium. Laura Harvey, head coach of the Utah Royals, play tomorrow night. Here locally, as we're going to see Jack Blake make his first appearance for the Monarchs. 501 minutes in the Tampa Bay uniform.
Mostly known as playing that 8. Will he be a more, this is kind of maybe more of a defensive substitute, kind of put him there alongside, drop Portillo back and just play Charlie Adams and Jack Blake just a little bit ahead of him. Charlie would probably play that 10 spot because he's been playing all game.
Blake, a goal and 2 assists on the season.
But they only gained from Jack Blake being on the field from what I've seen in practice so far. Talking to some of the Monarchs coaching staff and the front office, they were very eager to get Jack Blake. When they heard that he was available for pickup, they no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They went out and got him from the Tampa Bay Rowdies as quick as they could. He'll have some stiff competition in there. Sebastian Velasquez, Charlie Adams, Jose Hernandez, Justin Portillo. So many people that can play that, and such hard people to move out of that position because of the work and the production that they put in.
Good challenge there by Brody as he goes to ground again and wins it away from Cooper. Gets around Johnson. Johnson takes him out from behind, and that's going to be his second yellow card shown, as he was shown yellow in the 65th, and we'll see red here in the 69th minute of play.
It's made to look even a little bit worse for Jamal Johnson, not usually donning that captain's armband. Faywo takes it from him as that captain on the field. You have to be smarter. You've been beaten. There's real no danger. You're still at half field. There's no reason. You know you have a yellow card. Do not hang on. Do not put yourself in this risk of doing it. But, I mean, Brody puts himself in a great position with his effort, but that's just something you can't do when you're already on a yellow card.
And I don't think there's much that can be said about that. You have to show yellow in a situation like that. You put the ref in a situation where he has to show you a yellow, and you're only showing yellow 4 minutes earlier.
That's a well-deserved red card. It was a very bad challenge, a very badly timed challenge on Brody just 5 minutes ago, and this one was Brody was already in front of him. It makes no sense to me why you would drag him down when your team is 1-0 down. Now
at the midfield stripe.
Exactly. And now that hill, you've just turned that hill that you had to climb already into a mountain.
Fresno will play the final 20 minutes and change down a man. We've seen a red card here in the 69th minute of play shown to Jamal Johnson, the goal scorer, the guy that's been the man for Fresno this season.
Yeah, one of the key guys that we highlighted just went himself and made himself a not key player and just hurt his team even more. Yes, they were losing already. They might have lost the game anyway, but you never know that. You want to keep 11 players on the field as much as you possibly can.
Blake, shot! Parried away by Rainish. Blake took his first chance and put a good opportunity on goal. He'll try to whip it in back. He'll go out for a goal kick.
Oh, what a fantastic debut that would have been for the Monarchs. As the ball comes across, Jack Blake takes a great touch and just absolutely laces one up into the right of Kyle Rainish. Great reactions here from Kyle Rainish to deny Jack Blake his first ever goal for the Monarchs and to keep it at 1-0. He's going to be called upon to make a few more saves before this game is out. Look for the Fresno FC to counter with that. They're going to try and draw fouls high up into the defensive half of the Monarchs, and they're going to try and score on set pieces with the big bodies they have on the field.
Interestingly enough, ball headed forward, Hoffman in, Hoffman! Rainish comes off his line. Rainish does a good job to clear that one forward. Hoffman probably would have found his 7th of the season with that opportunity.
Rainish, good to be aware coming off that counter right there, but that was the speed that you alluded to that Chandler just doesn't really possess.
Adams, he'll pick up his head. Adams with a crack directly down the pipe at Rainish.
And that he's been hitting it well, but that was really well done, converging on him, seeing him at the top of the box, the danger. 3 players collapsed on him, made it really kind of impossible to find a window to hit, and it was easy as can be for Kyle Rainish.
Monarchs keeping their foot on the gas here in the last few minutes. Up a man. Chang. Back to Blake.
Seeing their own shadows on the field is going to give them a little bit of comfort, letting them know the sun will no longer be baking them as they're trying to play this soccer game and finish this out.
Blake wide to Brody. Back to Moberg.
And this is what the Jamal Johnson red card has led to. It has led to the Monarchs being able to open themselves up, so they're almost playing 40 by 60, allowing their defensive backs and their outside midfielders to touch the paint with their cleats and just making it so hard for a team that's worked so hard defensively in Fresno FC so far today to just make them work even harder. But now the difference is they don't really have the legs to do so.
Connor Sparrow with that as feet, no pressure coming, so he has all the time in the world.
And just go ahead and keep it. There's no reason to move it up the field if you're not in any pressure. It's a gamesmanship thing. It's time wasting. Go ahead and just see if the team can keep 40, 50, 60 passes going. If this was a crowd that was here for just the soccer, maybe not just the $2, you'd be hearing Olays already for sure, because they've been put together 30 passes already, and this is what they're completely content with doing.
To welcome those of you tuning in on ESPN 700 tonight, flagship home of Real Salt Lake, the Real Monarchs, and the Utah Royals. You know, there's feed issues tonight across the USL. If you're tuning in from Fresno here on radio, we'll try to keep you in on the action. Chang inside the 18, takes a crack. Sparrow there to collect. If it had a little more bend, that might have found that back post.
Chang probably wants that back a little bit. The sea parted more than I think he thought it was going to. And he does a good job of putting it on target, but this is a position he loves being in. If he could just take a little bit off of that, maybe raise it into it more of like a clip to the back post with a little bit of curve and try and get it that way. I saw him hit some bangers from that same position. He loves to put his laces through the ball.
Sparrow with a nice skill check to bring it down. Pass back from Portillo. Hoffman trying to mark himself along that back line. Hurd's gonna try to settle. He'll keep it in. Hurd's trying to get around his defender. Well done by Daly to get it back to his keeper. He'll be out for a Monarchs throw-in. Those of you just tuning in, red card given to Fresno and Jamal Johnson in the 69th minute of play, his 2nd yellow card, equaling that red card. Foxes have been a man down since that point, and down 1-0 since the 8th minute. Ryden. Foxes with a good opportunity. And Blake will play it out for a throw-in.
Good recovery there from Ryden, who almost gave up an opportunity to Rivero, showing good sense of where his body position needs to be to make sure that Rivero doesn't take his next touch to goal. And slowing that attack up, it's played out of bounds.
A lot of people have inquired about getting Monarchs jerseys for this 2018 season. Talked to the RSL team store today. Trying to get orders for 3,500 is the goal. Once they're able to secure orders for that, they'll put in an order. So far, halfway there. So if you want Get a jersey, ball played inside the box, brought down, settled nicely by the Foxes, but Ryden's there to clean it up. Like I was mentioning, if you're interested in getting a Monarchs jersey for the 2018 season, buying one from the RSL team store, contact them and tell them to put you on the list.
I would buy a Monarchs jersey, but I'm still going to try to earn one this year, if possible. Still try to come back and play myself. So definitely get out there and get your Monarchs jerseys. Support these guys. What a great team. What a great time to come out here and watch these guys win week in, week out.
Just outside the area to Blake. I'm going to have to ask you for your jersey post-game then.
Oh, absolutely.
I need a signed. Portillo with the crack. Collected nicely, was swerving, and there was movement on that one. But Rainish does a good job to collect.
Portillo has every trick in his locker. He really hits this one. Great technique. You take a little bit off for power, and you just go for pure form. That ball's not really moving at all. Unfortunately, it's got more of a true line than Portillo probably wants, and dips a little bit too much right into the safe hands of Kyle Rainish, who's, without the exception of the goal, has been an absolute, had a great performance today.
Fresno moving from north to south here, or right to left across your radio dial. Bustamante looking forward, up over top. No one making the run, and Sparrow will collect for the Monarchs.
They've been looking for that chip in behind the center backs the entire game, and it's really proved well for them, and it's worked out well. That just the timing and the precision of the pass hasn't been where it needs to be to put themselves in more advanced positions and better attacking situations than they've had.
Monarchs with it inside their own half. R-Ray's got his jersey on. Monarchs looking to make their third and final substitution for the night. You can only imagine he's coming on for Chandler Hoffman.
Hoffman's put in a good shift today. He got an assist, led to the goal. Could be the game-winning goal as of right now. Bring in Juan Mayer, a big body, good at holding the ball up. See if he can close the game out, maybe get a chance or two himself, but just see how good his clock management is.
Official attendance announced here at Zions Bank Stadium tonight, just under 2,000. Faithful fans here on a $2 Tuesday. Sun finally set here on Zions Bank Stadium. 1-0 Monarchs lead. An 8th-minute goal by by Andrew Brody, an assist by Chandler Hoffman. Monarchs up a man here. We entered the 78th minute of play. Blake. Adams. Adams still on his feet. Does a good job. Gets around. Herrera looking inside to Hoffman. Probably just should have taken a crack himself as he stood atop the 18.
Well, a defender will always look to pass more than shoot unless your name is Kalen Ryden. But, unlucky for Aaron Herrera there. He got in a good position, took a good first touch. His next idea should have been a shot, as you mentioned. But, it's never a bad thing to be selfish. But as a young guy, go ahead and be selfish in that spot.
Blake back to Herrera. Herrera's going to try to get it inside the box. Hoffman's there. Hoffman takes a deflection. Didn't look like it was going to reach him and hit his leg.
I don't know if it took a deflection or not. I think that he thought that there was no way that Feiwu wasn't actually going to get his head on this. It looks to just get over Feiwu's head at just a touch. He misses the header. Hoffman takes his eye just a little bit off the ball, not expecting you to get through. Hits off his knee, and that'll probably be his last action in the game. Would have been great, and he would have loved to finish that on a goal. But it looks after the restart that Juan Mayer will be coming in for Chandler Hoffman, and his night will be done.
We're still above that temperature here, so we'll take another water break here at Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs lead 1-0. We'll be playing up for this final 10 and change, still up a man after Jamal Johnson was red carded.
But Fresno, with their ability to high press and the effectiveness of their game plan today, along with Kyle Rainish coming up with a couple of great saves, has left them with a chance. They might be one player down, 1-0 down, but there's still a chance. Anything could happen in this game. So, the worst thing that the Monarchs could do would actually think that they have this game won and just go lax at any point during the last 15 minutes of this game.
sides getting instruction. And this is one of those opportunities for coaches. You don't always see that, the little men flossing up there. I feel like that's the dance of the era. Oh, look at that.
I feel like it's a dance that just, you know, you do really well, but it still looks like you're spazzing out to me. But, these kids come out here to have a great time to see him dancing. You see some of the best dancing out here in Utah that I've ever seen at any stadium. So
listen to the noise here at Zions Bank Stadium. Crowd getting on their feet, trying to make some noise. Wasatch Legion here in the north end of the stadium with their tifos.
Love the Wasatch Legion come out here and show their support for the Monarchs every single game. Rain, snow, shine, or immense heat. Doesn't matter to these guys.
Hoffman's gonna take off the captain's armband and put it on Justin Portillo as Juan Mare will enter the match. Hoffman had 2 goals in the last 2 games, unable to find the score sheet tonight, but put in a good effort for the Monarchs.
As Clint Dempsey told me one time, he says that he's just as okay with getting assists as he is goals because you contributed to the actual production of that goal. But everybody that knows Clint knows that that's probably a little bit of a lie. Guy loves to score. But, you know, that's, you know, he did his job. He came in here, he was very good with his 1-touch and 2-touch passing. I'm not sure if he lost the ball with his back to goal the entire night. Had that great 1-touch layoff to Andrew Brody, who had that great individual effort for the goal.
Mare goes on downlander challenge. Bustamante looking for the forward run. Chang's got a lot of green grass in front of him. He'll go forward. 3v3. Chang outside the area, takes a deflection. Blake, shot! And a save by Rainish as he goes down to his left and makes the easy save.
Feet were a little bit mixed up there from Jack. I don't know if he thought he could maybe take a touch there, but Chang going to his left. Feiwu doing a good job of reading it. Nice softball back to Jack. And as he comes in, he's just trying to hit that nice little curler. Looks like he just gets over top of it a little bit and hits it along the ground a little more than he wanted to. If I could say he was trying to do anything, I'd probably say he was trying to maybe do a 1-hopper into this near post. Bounce it at about keeper height.
That's 2 shots so far for Blake in his first appearance for the Monarchs. Like I mentioned, played 501 minutes, 1 goal, 2 assists for the Tampa Bay Rowdies in the 2018 season.
And another guy for the Monarchs in the midfield that can shoot from distance. They don't have a whole lot of goals outside the box, but they have a lot of players that can actually score from there.
84th minute of play. Still 1-0 Monarchs. Looking to move to 12, 3-1 on the season, and 37 points to increase their league leading total. Ball across the 6. Adams shot up and over the bar. A good opportunity there. Tantalizing ball played across the 6, and he banged that one up over top.
He's going to be hitting his head against the wall all night, replaying that over and over in his head. Probably the best thing to do is to be able to watch it and to see what he can do differently. As that ball comes across, great cutback here from Hurd onto his left foot that he loves, and it looks like he wants to go far post, but the last second, Del Campo just comes into his vision, and then it looks like he changes his mind and tries to come near post and just blast it over. Very uncharacteristic. Look for him to get that on goal every single time. But again, 1-0. Fresno lucky to escape there without conceding another goal and still have a chance at coming back into this game.
Ribeiro, he'll go forward. Got opportunity here for Fresno. Can they find the equalizer? Sparrow collects. Not a bad look there from Ribeiro.
And almost a mirror image of Andrew Brody's goal. Monarchs doing a much better job keeping the player in front of him and not overcommitting to the weak side. Ribeiro plays it in to Cheney, who has a great little layoff. It looked like he was going to hit it first time. Pulls back and reattempts the trigger the second time. Right at Connor Sparrow. Safe as houses.
Chang. He'll go as defender. He'll switch the field completely to the opposite side. Hurd's defended by Daly. He cuts in. Hurd Top of the 18 to Adams. Adams clips it back, looking for Hurd, still inside the 6. A challenge there, and Hurd goes down and ushers it across the end line. It'll be a goal kick for the Foxes.
Hurd does a good job of trying to put himself in front of Fayewu and the ball there. Fayewu with a little harder challenge than his coach might have liked to see. Good thought there from Charlie. Thought he was going to play it out to Aaron Ortega. Referee didn't see enough to warrant a PK or to entertain Josh Hurd.
Ball forward, Renato making a run. Sparrow's gonna get to it first. Moberg with pressure on him. Monarchs need to get rid of it. And they'll clear to midfield. Blake will settle. Ball takes a deflection. Blake's gonna see yellow here in his first match for the Monarchs.
Maybe a little frustrated with his first giveaway since he's been on the field. Those are a little tough outside of the foot challenge into Cesares there. But this is exactly what Fresno FC need. Throw bodies forward, the big bodies, chip it in back post, cause some havoc. See if Connor Sparrow comes off his line or not, but he needs to make sure that he has everybody set up in position, getting ready for this free kick.
Barrera will take the free kick for Fresno. They're gonna send most of the team forward. Monarchs are gonna hold their line on the 18. Ball to the back post. Moberg rises up, wins the header, and he's down inside his own 18. He pops up. Foxes still have a man down. Along the back post, Herrera.
Herrera seemingly to be a lot more secure than it looked. Cheney just jumping out of the stadium right there, getting his head to it, just misses the flick to the back post.
Kind of an interesting situation. Players were down inside the 18. Not sure how the offside flag would have come up.
Hard collision right there that Moberg took.
Like everybody's all right. Fox is throwing numbers forward. Only 3 in the back now here late. Down a man and down a goal. Can they find the equalizer? Ribeiro. Unable to settle. There's some chatter from the pitch.
Whatever Fresno have left in the tank, they have to be willing to throw forward. 5, 7 minutes left in this game. Whatever you got, dig down deep.
All back to Sparrow.
See if you can salvage a point out of this game.
Maray's gonna get a touch. To Adams. He'll look wide. Hurd back to Adams. Monarchs leading here late, 89th minute of play. Stoppage time going to be announced here shortly. Marais checks back deep into the midfield to find the ball. Monarchs switching the point of attack. Brody looking for Chang as the ball hits the mic down there. Field side.
Not a big deal's made of that because Brody doesn't make those mistakes very often.
Stoppage time will be announced here momentarily. 3 minutes of stoppage time will be announced. Del Campo, wide to Daly, Casares, just across the midfield stripe. Barrera inside the center circle. He'll look up, Fresno throwing numbers forward. Can the Monarchs hang on to this 1-0 lead?
Once they get the ball back, they need to find a strong spell of possession or get the ball up into one of the corners and try and kill this clock.
Brody forward, Cooper inside, Cooper, shot! And a save by the keeper, Sparrow. Ball still inside the 18. Monarchs try to clear. Chang's gonna go forward. Monarchs have it, 2v2. Maray's wide of him to his right. He'll play it to Marais. Marais, he'll cut in. goes down under the challenge, maintains possession. Looks like he might go to the corner, maybe not. Try to roll it backwards and play it off his back heel.
They were doing a great job there. Great little cut in here by Alex Cooper, who's not used to coming up, and it almost finds a way through Connor Sparrow's legs, but has his knees close enough together to make an absolutely huge save. Couldn't tell from this angle, but that was a much better opportunity than we actually realized.
Wow, big opportunity there for Fresno. But a little luck. Lady luck giving an opportunity for the Monarchs to keep 3 points. We've entered stoppage time.
It's frustrating for them because they have to feel that that might be their last chance, even though there's 2 minutes left and anything could happen. It's not likely to get a chance like that. Again, Cooper, great individual effort to get on the wrong side of Brody. Brody making an errant pass and then also making a mistake there, getting late on in the game. It can affect even the most durable of players.
Chang able to keep it in. He's on the touchline, takes a crack right at Rainish. It'll stay in. Chang still down.
Rainish only giving up a terrific goal to Andrew Brody earlier today on the 8th minute, has just done an unbelievable job the rest of this game, keeping Fresno FC alive in it.
Sparrow. Ryden. Moray's gonna chase it down.
Great ball there from Fayetteville.
Wow, to Cooper. Ooh, nice fancy.
Some good English soccer right there.
There from the 2 Englishmen.
They've been on team for about 4 days.
Chang cuts in. Chang on top of the 18. Back to Adams. Adams takes a crack. Rainish with the save.
Maybe didn't have the muster left in the legs to get the power he needed to beat Rainish there. But a good opportunity. More chances than I think Hamas and Olave would even want. Just waiting for the end of this game.
Unofficially around 30 seconds left in this one. Foxes, will this be their final opportunity going forward? Barrera, they're throwing numbers forward. Cooper cut off by Brody. Marais gonna apply some pressure. Will foul Fewa.
Why are defenders always so mad at that when they do it to forwards all throughout the game?
Barrera clips it in. And Herrera will knock it out. It'll be a throw-in. Can't be much left in this one. Bustamante. He'll throw it in. To Ribeiro. He'll take it to the touchline, tries to win a corner. And that's the final whistle. Monarchs get 3 points from this one as they defeat the Fresno Foxes 1-0 on an Andrew Brody goal in the 8th minute of play. And the second time this season the Monarchs have scored in the 8th minute and had it hold up through 90.
Well, kind of turned out to be exactly how they thought it was going to be, or how it turned out last time when it 1-0 on the 8th minute goal. Sad to see that play out for Fresno. Definitely deserved to lose last game. Maybe not today, though. They really put in a really good performance. That high defensive line is something the Monarchs have not seen here. And frankly, I can't see how they would have expected it to happen on a day with so much heat, especially coming off a game just 3 days ago. I thought that Fresno FC did a tremendous job coming in here today and making it very difficult for the Monarchs to play their normal game.
You have to give credit, continue to give that credit to Fresno. Played a solid game against a good side. The Monarchs have been known to play well here at Zions Bank Stadium, undefeated on the season, moving to 12 wins here in the 2018 season, 37 points, and to stay atop the USL.
Yeah, just starting where they left off last year. At the midway point, they were leading. At the midway point this year, they're leading. They have done a great job, and they don't let up. At the end of last season is the only time they showed a little bit of let up, but if that happens again this year, I don't expect it to be the same result. They're bringing in great players like Jack Blake. Juan Mayer's been playing good when Hoffman hasn't been playing good. Any subs that they use, it doesn't really matter who plays in there. Whether they come down from RSL, they've been proven that they are willing to step up to the challenge and keep the status quo here at Monarchs.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to David Horst tonight, who sustained an injury. We hope the best for him in his recovery and hope that he can see the field here in the future.
Yeah, something you never want to see, but it's like you said, it's tough to see somebody go down with a non-contact injury. Like you said, we wish the best for you, David, and hope you for a speedy recovery.
Monarchs collect all 3 points tonight here at Zions Bank Stadium, and we'll check out the upcoming games for the Monarchs in a tough stretch coming up here before the 4th of July. Head off to Reno, and then to Sacramento, and then back home finally on the 14th against Seattle Sounders 2, and then back on the road to San Antonio, a defensive stalwart team, and then back here at Zions Bank Stadium to see Phoenix Rising and Drogba.
Is he going to come up here? Is he going to play on turf? That's the question I think everybody would like to know. It would be his first ever visit to the great state of Utah. So that would be unbelievable for the fans to come out and see. Hopefully it's on a $2 Tuesday, so it's nice and cheap to come out. But this was a great turnout today by the fans. They really showed up and rode the heat, which was nice.
Thanks for those of you tuned in tonight to the game. From our production crew and from Chad and myself, we'll sign off here from Zions Bank Stadium. Monarchs collect all 3 points and stay undefeated here at Zions Bank Stadium.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.